you guys.
It's nice to meet you.
You're right.
Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
I wondered if its success could be attributed to the fact that it is a shared cathartic experience.
I don't know if we can deem there's any success yet. It hasn't come out yet, but I hope so. I think so. I think I think the film is partly about the industry and their part of it and our part of it and the audience's part of it. It's definitely been cathartic for the people who knew her. Most of them have managed to speak and feel like they've moved on in their lives a bit. And in a weird way, and this was not the intention, I would never say that was the intention, but talking to us and helping to make the film almost gave them a way to grieve. They got stuff off their chest that they've been carrying. And the people I've spoken to who knew Amy, journalists, other kind of press people, photographers, everyone has all felt slightly, because they met her, they spoke to her, people who knew her felt they've kind of got a slight release of something they didn't even know they were carrying. And I think so. I guess there's something going on there. There's something complex going on, particularly in London.
Well, that's it, because she is very much a London girl, isn't she?
Yeah.
But it went more than that. I think it was when she became a global phenomenon, that was when it all sort of went, maybe it went a bit wrong for her, and she didn't have the support around her. Would you agree with that? I
guess the fame is something you can't control, and it got so big. And it got so big at such a bad time for her. So yeah, I think it didn't work out best for her. I think she needed... You know what, I always felt if she'd made another record quickly and it was a huge failure, it might have helped her. Sure. Failure is a good thing for longevity sometimes with careers. You know?
And it's interesting that in the film, there's a great deal of sympathy but also complicity drawn out. Did that surprise you when you were making the film?
Everything was new to me when I was making the film. I didn't know anything going in. It's just something that I became aware of as I was looking at it, at the material and doing the interview. So yeah, I think that became a part of the story. That's really the last third of the film, is really where we start to play part. The audience. Different people around the world dipped into a story at different points, but very few people knew the young, healthy, funny girl.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to sort of see those early days, and then you sort of, through all the home movies now, as a documentarian, do you think that having the home movies played a big part in being able to tell her story, because that was a different side that maybe we hadn't seen compared to the onslaught of social media, for example?
Yeah, for sure. I think seeing the early stuff, for me, was a light bulb moment where I thought, okay, we have a movie now, because I have no idea that girl existed. And I know no one's seen this material because the person who shot it hasn't even looked at it before, since they shot it. So that became really important, to set her up as someone who's really lovable, really funny, really witty, sharp, not at all like the person you saw on stage at the end.
True. And in terms of the reaction to the film from people who have seen it, are you happy with the questions that it's raised?
Yeah, I think so. Overall, people who've seen it, people who were involved in it have all said it's an honest depiction of what's going on. It's a sad story, but you come out loving her, which is the most important thing. And
do you think there's anything that we can learn from it? What would you like people to come out of? Because you're very keen not to point the finger of blame at anyone in particular.
I mean, I just hope, the next time this happens, will we think a little bit deeper about how much trouble that person's in and reach out and try and help rather than just join in and give them a kicking, because that's kind of what happened.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey